Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Oh, hello. This is the first morning. It's not like azure blue skies.
That's right. I trail my own cloud of woe.
Do you?
This week I do, that's for frickin' sure.
Okay. Uh-oh.
It's best of week.
What does that mean?
It means our big best of issue is coming out next Wednesday.
Which drives you
Yes.
crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It does. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah,
It looks nice.
I know. I not only got a haircut, he cut my hair, but, they blow it, and so it's, like, straight. Look, everybody. Look.
Yeah.
It's, like, youthful.
Yeah, it's got like a kind of Kate Jackson and Charlie's Angels kind of thing going.
I know.
I like it.
And as a matter of fact, last night people were saying, oh, and it swings.
It swings.
I said, yes. I was feeling very beautiful.
Did you do it just for last night's gala event?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was a long-standing, he really chopped it off, too.
Yeah.
We're trying to chop off the dyed stuff.
Oh.
It still hasn't grown completely out.
You dyed your hair? Well, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Only your hairdresser knew.
Well, why did I? Because look at what it is without the dye.
Yes.
Does it look that? I thought it was going to be white.
Nice.
It's not white. It's,
no, it looks nice.
Heading there.
Ah. Don't talk to me about it.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing.
I didn't come here to be insulted.
Okay, all right. Chris Potter joins us, of course. It's Friday. It's weird. I said to you, I don't really have anything to talk about. And then I happened to click on this email from Sokolowski, whose first line is, how could you have missed today's op-ed page in the PG? How does he know I missed it?
Yeah.
He's right.
Because you didn't talk about it? Is that...
Well, but I just started. He wrote that before I started the show. So why would you write, how could you have missed? How could you?
But then the subject headline is yesterday's op-ed pieces in the PG. Maybe Tom was writing from...
Oh, he was talking about yesterday.
Yeah, or it could be in a different time
Well, I'll tell
zone.
you, right. He said all three pieces were fascinating. Maybe we should talk. And I was trying to produce our show. Huh?
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Huh?
Well, everybody thinks...
Okay, so one was by George Will on the myth of the Kennedy assassination. All I would have had
Wait, you mean Kennedy is still alive, according to George Will?
All I would have had to see is George Will... myth of, and I wouldn't read it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sick of these people. He's now made the total jump to Fox. He's on Fox now.
Yeah, I did know that, actually. Yeah.
Jesus, God, no. He's dead to me.
Goodness.
Dead to me.
I mean, he's a conservative. He's going to go where the money is. That's market incentives, baby.
Awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, Micah Moritz says that he thinks the Redskins, what they should do, rather than change their name, is just change their, mascot so it's not an Indian, but rather a potato. Isn't that good?
That's a great idea.
That
would
is
be
a
awesome.
great
I would
idea.
totally root for them.
Yeah.
I would totally root if they just are out there with
be
like
the
a little
Redskin
lumpy old
potatoes.
potato
Yeah,
on
I
their
know.
helmet.
That
Yeah.
is absolutely brilliant.
That's,
And The Onion said that they finally did change their name. Did you see that?
No.
The D.C. Redskins. Okay.
there's a lot of that. So I've always, somebody should really go through and find. What do they do down in Atlanta? They still do that tomahawk chalk thing.
God, no, we were talking about that the other day. That's racist?
Yeah,
that's
racist. Or the what is it in Cleveland? That Chief Wahoo or whatever they've got. Do they still do that? I mean, I'm for changing the name for sure, but it does seem like there are a lot of other people's sins getting.
Yeah, but red skin.
Yeah.
Is like. There was a piece I think in the Times today about some Redskins fan, a black minister who's lived in D.C. all his life or something, and he's been railing against the name for 20 years, trying to tell his congregation, I know we love this team, but Redskins is the equivalent of the N-word. Would you be rooting for a team called the N-words?
Right.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, they don't have a leg to stand on. That's it. Done.
Seems like if you're going to change a team name, you almost have to move the team somewhere else, right? Like when it was the Houston Oilers and they moved them to Tennessee, they became the Titans.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that's what they have to do. Maybe their team should be moved for a year and then moved back.
Well, see, the Braves, they've been the Braves no matter where the hell they've been, right?
Right.
Were they Braves
sometimes
in Boston?
Braves, sometimes they keep them like the L.A. Lakers, obviously.
But there's nothing wrong with being a Brave. That's like being a warrior. That's like being a Viking.
Yeah,
that's a warrior. It's a proud.
You got to get rid of the chop thing. Come on.
The chop thing has to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yesterday, Tom and I were talking about the wondrous names of Charles Dickens characters.
Yes.
And Charles has written back.
Charles Dickens wrote back?
Charles, no, I don't give last names in the show.
Sorry. I was just going to say, wow.
Although this gets weird that you said that because he says, your conversation about the characters of Charles Dickens reminded me of a pleasurable day last December where I got to spend with Gerald Dickens,
really,
the great grandson.
I'll be dipped.
You'll be dipped.
Well, that's an expression of surprise.
I never heard that. No,
I'll be dipped.
What does that mean? I immediately thought of a Dairy Queen.
Sure, well, that's fine.
I'll be dipped. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he said that Gerald Dickens put on a one-act stage play of A Christmas Carol at the Buyer's Choice Factory in Bucks County.
Is that the ice cream or something?
I have no idea. This year he's returning to the States and doing a show at the Hershey Hotel. Here's the website. Buyer's Choice. So the great-great-grandson goes around like his great-great-great-great-grandfather did.
Yeah.
I heard Dickens wasn't a jerk as a father.
He was a jerk?
Yeah, I believe
Is that right?
he was. But, I mean, this guy never would have known him anyway. Right?
Yeah. When his kid came up to him to ask for a second helping at dinner, he'd say, "He wants more?" That's what people don't realize. It was all a confession. Yeah.
So I have to say something, and you were, I have to say that I attended Off the Record in the 13th episode last night, and I have to say I'm sorry to all of you who weren't there. I mean that. Yeah. I have not seen a better show in ages.
Really? So better than the previous?
Better than anything. I'm not saying that, but this one I thought it just dead on. I loved it. I just loved it.
The performance or the script?
All of it. It was well produced. It was well directed. The choreography was fantastic. The pacing was great. The songs were delightful. The performers fantastic. What can I say? It even had
Run, don't walk to see.
No, it's over.
Oh, it's over.
Then
you really better.
It's a one-shot deal, and I'm really sorry. And it ended with this marvelous situation where Sophie Maslow,
the real one or
the real one,
all right,
was carried on stage in a chair and sat down, and the audience went
bonkers.
They went insane.
Yeah.
It stopped the show. She got, just for being there, like a 3-minute standing, screaming ovation. And then they sang this cute song to her, and she's clapping. She's totally into it. It was such a treat to see her because I've been worrying about her. She's been in the hospital quite a bit, and she did look more her age than I've seen her look in the past. What a delight! What fun! And you missed it.
So do they tape? So do they record that so people can?
I don't know. I don't know.
See, they should have it for sale.
And Ravenstall really took it on the chin last night.
Yeah, I'll bet he did.
And the guy playing Ravenstall was fantastic, and he had a lot of songs, including one, "It Sucks to Be Mayor."
To the tune of?
To the tune of "It Sucks to Be Me" from Avenue Q, which I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they had fun with Fitzgerald. Yeah. And he did this thing where he was firing everybody in sight. I don't know. I thought it was great. The Ori sisters showed up as the three witches.
Right. Was Ravenstall in attendance in the audience?
Hell no.
Yeah, really. Yeah. You know, it got really... I don't know if you saw this, but there was this thing where he tweeted after the Pirates won Game 4. He put out a tweet, and he hasn't used his Twitter account in 6 months. And all of a sudden, he tweeted out of nowhere.
They didn't win Game 4.
Well, whatever the game they won. Yeah, they did, because that forced to Game 5, right?
No, they
won Game 3. That's right. Well, whatever happened. Right. So he said. Right. So he tweeted, "Where's Luke? I'm going to St. Louis, baby," or something like that. Go Bucks. And then, I retweeted it, and several other people did because it was just so funny. And then a day or two later, it turns out he's not going. He's not going to St. Louis, and his spokesperson, Marissa Doyle, couldn't explain why he would tweet to the contrary, which is just that's when you know it's bad, when you're blowing off the stuff you used to blow, when you blow off the blowing off, you know what I mean? He's not even not doing stuff anymore. So I just...
Do you think that he assumed that someone would give him a ticket?
I don't know. I have no idea what was going through his head when he did that. And then a few minutes later, somebody who I guess is a fan of his said something like, "Bring home a winner, Leaf Peduto in St. Louis," and Ravenstall retweeted it. And then Peduto, I think it was yesterday, there was this interview of him. I guess he went to the Tribune Review editorial board, and he just completely slammed him.
Slammed Ravenstall. Yeah. But there was a picture just a few days earlier of the two of them at a game. Yeah. And they were looking all happy, and I thought that was the oddest thing, because the next day it just... and as a matter of fact, Peduto, after the show last night, said to me, he said, Sophie said to me backstage, "Are you mad at me?"
Oh, for supporting Lynn.
Yeah, because she did not support him. Yeah. And he said, "Sophie, he probably is." But
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? She's a 95-year-old cute lady there. And then he said, "Who will be mad at you, Sophie?" Yeah, right.
That's what you have to say.
But that's probably the first time she's encountered him since, she backed the wrong horse.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fun. He ripped. Peduto did get up and do that pre-Buddley thing. Yeah. He ripped the Post-Gazette, which of course is they're there.
What did he say? I'm curious.
Oh, he's just ripping him about their and not endorsing him, and ripping him again about not endorsing him, and he just could not stop. Any chance he got, he went at him. It was good. Yeah. There's a lot of bloodletting that goes on at that show.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons it's off the record. Things are said, and then
although we
what
we that's one reason we haven't gone, actually.
You don't believe in the concept?
I don't believe in this thing, which I'm not sure anybody really takes it all that seriously, but this idea that we as reporters are going to get together with you as politicians or whatever, and then sort of pledge with a wink and a nudge not to say anything about what happens. There was a few years ago where where Ravenstall, for his rebuttal part, basically showed up in like riot control gear.
Yes, he did.
And said, here's some free speech for you, Vic Walczak. Fuck you. And we wrote about it because we just thought it was a bizarre...
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was, and it sort of became like a big story.
Well,
the thing was,
I'm willing to bet, though, that didn't go over well with the audience.
It didn't. From what I recall, it didn't. But nobody. I mean, the thing is so it's a whole room full of reporters there, and nobody tells that story except for the paper that wasn't there. And we wrote about it because we had I had multiple people. The guy who wrote the story, Marty Levine, our news editor at the time, also had multiple people just kind of like, holy crap, what was that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like everybody sort of thought it was this really notable thing, but nobody said anything about it. So to me, it's not quite White House Correspondents Association level incest,
well,
but it's a little weird.
It is a little,
yeah,
but for a good cause. I think
it's for a good cause. But on the other hand,
food bank.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh,
I know.
Come on.
I'm for feeding hungry people for sure. I just don't want to have to let everybody off the hook in order to do it. But yeah, that's. I mean, I wouldn't have gone anyway just because I have too much going on this week. But that is a thing about it that's always made me a wee bit uncomfortable.
All right, fine. There was a great little duet with Romoff, a guy playing Romoff and a guy playing the head of Highmark. Winkenwerder.
Yeah.
Anything you can sue, I can sue better. I can sue anything better than you. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't think I'm a nonprofit at all. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. You're not. No, you're not. Yes, I am. My CEO screws up better than you do in the news. Oh, God. It's just too funny. Too cute. And the actors are unbelievably. I mean, there wasn't a... You know how sometimes there were, like, idiots on stage like me? And now there aren't. They all know what they're doing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm more surprised that you thought you were not good.
I did not think I was good.
Oh, well, you're
I'm trying to think what I did. I played a minister marrying... I married I did a gay marriage, but that was ages ago, and I forget who the couples were. It was like two politicians or something, whatever. Corbett escaped unscathed. He was not mentioned.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway,
probably because he's doing a good enough job satirizing himself at this point.
Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but if you don't go next year, you're idiots. I'm telling you. So much fun. I had to be dragged out. I wanted to stay and I was loving it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you find out all kinds of things because, like, I said something to somebody who's very politically connected, and I said, wasn't that wonderful about Sophie? And the woman said, I didn't stand up. I hate that witch.
Yes.
Jeez, I didn't think...
Oh, really?
Wow.
See, people, everybody,
that was a Democrat on Democrat.
She's a cuddly grandma type, but you don't get to where Sophie got without making a few enemies. Yeah. No reflection on her. It's just how the game is.
Man, wow. So anyway, it was fun, and Ken Rice, as usual, was so ridiculously funny, and he sang.
Yeah, can he sing?
Listen. He can sing. He can dance. He can do it all. Peduto had a good line. He said something about it's going to be a rough winter because he was noticing that Ken Rice's eyebrows were coming in a little
early,
a little hairier than usual.
Poor guy.
What do you mean? His eyebrows are a running joke.
Yeah, I know. Still.
All right. You're wondering what we're talking about. You're wondering what you're doing here, right?
Not at all. When I came in, I didn't see your usual stack of...
I got nothing.
...highlighted news clippings. I knew we were in for
one of those meandering
ride.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, because, you know what? I'm fed up. I can't. I read all the newspapers today. There's nothing I want to talk about anymore.
Okay.
So I just thought I'd let you talk about it. My weekend starts now. And anyway, I have to work tonight. I have to do that,
What do you have to do?
4802.
Oh, yeah.
Or, as my son calls it, 3726 or 4972. He's always, because I couldn't remember the name of it for the longest time myself.
Yeah, it was a bad choice. This is the address of the
Fifth Avenue, the address of WQED, and I'm sorry. And I only say this because I shouldn't bite the hand that doesn't feed me, but...
Oh, you never get paid for that?
That is stupid... Oh, I get paid.
Oh, do you really? No.
Oh, yeah, man.
More than we pay you.
They're like... They went to the same generosity school that,
yeah,
you guys went
well,
to.
Their excuse is they're a nonprofit.
What's your excuse?
Oh, we don't have one.
So I got to do that, which... I don't always look forward to it. That's work. So I got to work late tonight. Okay? So you could... Look, see, somebody called us trying to shut us up. Hello?
Hey. Since you're not talking about anything, I thought I'd call in.
Okay, that's good.
I've been wondering this, and I'm a little late asking, but I have a stupid question for Chris.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Did your son participate in 9/11 art at preschool this year?
This for those who don't get the reference. I think it was last year. My kid came home on 9/11 from daycare, and they gave you these little sheets that tell you, like when their bowel movements were and how they behaved. And there was a little marginal note that said, "Did not wish to participate in 9/11 art." We didn't get a. Which we didn't really know what to make of. I mean, the list of stuff Cormac doesn't participate in the course of a day would fill a book. This year we did not get a notice.
What the hell is 9/11 art?
Maybe like one of those crying eagle things or something, or just a flag, or something like that. I hope it wasn't like anything beyond that. Honestly, we did to answer the question. As far as I know, we didn't get anything that said he didn't participate in it, which means either they didn't do it this year, or it means
he participated.
Or it means he finally became a good American citizen and stopped listening to his subversive father and has decided that he really loves his country. So,
oh, thank God, I've been worried about that.
No, thank you for your concern.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Good for you. See, somebody
was paying attention. Yeah.
Jeez. I'm impressed. Any other questions for Mr. Potter?
Oh, gosh.
Anything you've always wanted to ask. We got him here. He's stuck.
Any
and all questions about any and all subjects, come on through. Okay, I have one. I did get one little scrap out of the paper.
You sure you want to use this now?
Did you see it already?
No, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Oh, Jess says take a break.
Jess reads me like a glass book. That's exactly what I meant.
All right. Well, then that's exactly what we're going to do.
Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com or call Lynn at 412-316-3381. Lynn Cullen Live will return in a moment.
This week's Pittsburgh City Paper is available now. Pick up one today for our special Halloween guide. Plus, Pearl Jam, The Pillow Project, Joe Grishecki, Sean Colvin, and News of the Weird. Pittsburgh City Paper, available at over 1,700 locations throughout Western Pennsylvania, and on the web at pghcitypaper.com, and on your smartphone with GPS-enabled music, event, and restaurant listings at citypapermobile.com.
Okay, so Real Q starts today. Does it? Yeah, it does. It starts today. Kicks off. And Real Q is the, what used to be, and who knows, because I'm going to screw it up, the Pittsburgh Gay and Lesbian International Film Festival or something like that. And then, God bless them, they came up with this brilliant name as opposed to 4802. It's Real, REEL, Q. Yeah. And you get over to their website, you'll get all the info you want, and it is, not surprisingly, realq.org. Also, if you get Xfinity Comcast, you can go on demand. You can go on demand and see trailers of many of the feature films. So you're not going in blind. You might say, ooh, gosh, got to see that one. And, people who like documentaries, there's tons of them and really good ones. That's where I'd be going, actually. And then if you want to see hot guys with guns, go for it. I'm going to skip that one. I don't know. Although somebody did say Southern Baptist Sissies is supposed to be a very funny movie. Whatever. So lots of not to be missed movies as kicking off tonight. And again, if you want, you can also get all of the info in Chris's paper, City Paper, or you can go, as I said, to www.reelq.org.
Les Ludwig, your independent, self-financed, clean candidate for mayor of Pittsburgh. You've heard the saying, same old. If we don't change what we're doing, we can only expect the same results. Let's look at what the Democratic Party leadership of your lifetime is asking you to do on Election Day. They want you to forget that they and Ravenstall have not lived up to minority contracts and the jobs involved in it. If government promises work and jobs and wants to leave it for the next candidate, will it ever get done? How can we trust Peduto and especially the leadership when they continue to act this way? Are they hiding something worse than Harper's misdeeds? Vote November 5th and remember, same old. Embrace change and work willingly with it. Think outside the party's box. Make Les Ludwig your mayor and join his march to clean government and keeping promises.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
Yay. Okay, here we are. And so here's a little thing I have. This has got me so flummoxed.
All right.
Okay, Dateline. Findlay, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
A judge
Yes.
rejected a man's request to reverse a ruling that declared him legally dead.
I'm sorry, you just don't have standing.
How can you deny the guy standing there and he's not dead? How do you deny that? I mean, that would seem to be a slam dunk petition to me.
Right. Yes. So does it
Your
say
Honor.
more?
Not a lot.
What?
Okay. He was declared dead in 1994.
Yeah.
And it's because he vanished. He vanished from his home. And he had vanished 8 years earlier. So he disappeared in 1980.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see.
Okay. He disappears in 1986.
Right.
He's declared dead in 1994. He pops back up the other day and says, I'm having a little difficulty because my social security number has been retired or something, and I can't get a driver's license because they don't let dead people drive. And so he went to the
Is
judge.
that really true? Sometimes I'm not sure.
Something like that. Yeah, right. That's true. And the judge said, I am really sorry, buddy, but there's a 3-year time limit for changing a death ruling, and you didn't make it. So you're dead. What else can I say to you? You're dead.
Now, what? I realize this is a tiny little clip from your... But, what was the guy's explanation for where he'd been for the previous 20 years?
You mean, what did Donald Miller Jr. say to the judge?
Yes, yeah.
Age 61, by the way.
Okay, all right.
He said...
I went out for smokes and got lost.
He disappeared in the 1980s because, well, he'd fallen down on his luck. He lost his job, he owed his ex some child support, and he was hitting the bottle pretty heavy, and he just couldn't deal with anything, so he walked away. Okay? He recalls living in Florida, living in Georgia, and he finally sort of meandered back to his home state of Ohio 8 years ago.
So he's been in Ohio since, okay, all right.
Yeah, and then he just recently went to court, so it says here, so that he could get a driver's license and reinstate his Social Security number. He bumped into trouble because he was legally dead, so he went to get undead. And the judge won't let him.
Should have gone to Haiti.
Well, how? But seriously, how can the judge do that?
I don't know. I mean, the other question is, so he's been around for 8 years and nobody recognized him or noticed, hey, I thought you were dead.
Well, Ohio's a big state.
He didn't go back to the same place he was at.
I don't know where he was. He was somewhere, and now this is out of Findlay. Judge Alan Davis of Hancock County Probate Court said, no, I'm sorry, buddy, you're dead. So you can't figure this out either.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think about it. I mean, on the one hand, here's a guy, I think you said he had a kid, and basically he just bailed out on child support.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so that's crummy.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds like it sounds like he was kind of a crummy guy.
So he's
in life.
So we all agree we'd be better off without him, so he's dead.
I mean, I can see it's one of those things where within the world of the law, what's the judge? But what's a judge? I could easily see a judge saying, "I simply don't have the ability."
There has to be ability. If the law cannot recognize that a man thought to be dead has now been found alive,
then the law is an ass.
The law
Charles
is an ass, Charles Dickens would say.
That's right.
And that is from Bleak House.
Yes. Well, maybe this guy could just be like a character in another Charles Dickens thing and wander around with chains.
Oh, he'd be a perfect Charles Dickens.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
All right, Ray's on your side.
Good. It's always better for me when Ray's on my side.
Always good to have Ray on your side. It is. I agree with Potter. Journalists shut up. Let me wait. Journalists hobnobbing with politicians off the record is like the Southern Poverty Law Center having cocktails with the KKK. Well, if you had
perhaps overstates the criminality of politicians and overstates the virtues of journalists.
I would agree on both counts.
But yes,
but I have to say, if you just were to see this event, you wouldn't compare it thusly. There was this guy sitting next to my friend who didn't smile or laugh once. How does somebody sit through a clearly delightful song and dance, funny, there's a lot of funny things being said, and
I'm laughing on the inside.
The one time he responded at all is when Winkenwerder, the head of Highmark, got to introduce or something, and I think he thought they mangled his name because all of a sudden I heard him say Winkenwerder.
Oh, well, there you go.
So he's from Highmark, you think?
Or UPMC. Those people have no sense of humor.
None. Oh my God. So I had to. Speaking of UPMC, I had to spring my friend from UPMC yesterday.
What do you mean spring?
Get her out of the hospital. Oh. Yeah, check her out.
You checked her out though. This wasn't one of.
No, I picked her up and got her out. No, she was being discharged.
Okay. You made it sound like she had been involuntarily committed.
No. Nobody wants to be there.
Right.
So she gets in the car. They make you go out in a wheelchair, which I really hate. She gets out of the wheelchair, and then she gets into my car. We're starting to go, and she says, so when I'm leaving, they tried to give me this UPMC T-shirt. She said I was packing up my little stuff, and the nurse put the T-shirt right there. She said I took the T-shirt and put it on the sink, and then I continued to pack. They picked the T-shirt up again and put it back on her.
Oh my God!
And she said, so there was this back and forth for a while. She said, why would they think I want to wander around in a UPMC They have no idea that half the people that are in there getting care despise the institution. Yeah. They love the care they're getting, but So anyway, she managed to leave it, but she had to surreptitiously, So that's another thing they're doing. They're now discharging you with T-shirts, bumper stickers, banners.
I went to UPMC for a colonoscopy, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt.
That's what they're doing.
Jeez. And they're probably, the irony is they're probably billing Highmark $457 for it.
That's probably.
Suck on this, Winkenwerder.
That might be.
There you go. But they're not giving those shirts to Community Blues subscribers. Coming to a press conference near you.
Well, it was just wonderful because every time they did anything with UPMC last night, they showed them to be just, they were cast as like whining babies.
Really?
Right. Hey, hello.
Oh, got a call.
You don't have to act so surprised. Hello.
How you doing today?
Good.
I'm doing great.
Hey, I wanted to ask you a question. You see these commercials for these hospitals and all that. How come it is, and I know it takes money to be on TV, why couldn't there be people going on there with their advertisement telling about the horror stories of the hospitals? And it's like even the insurance companies, oh, how wonderful. They're always tooting their horn. They're wonderful. They'll take care of you. I'd love to see somebody put some ads against them and say, they suck. I mean, some of the things they do, you hear all kind of stories about it. It's never on television. Nobody challenges them.
Well, because you're right, because it takes a lot of money to do it. But, you could do something like that, and the institution that could is the union trying to unionize some of their workers. The SEIU could do something like that, couldn't they,
it would be interesting to try something like that, because here's what I bet would happen. I bet the TV station would decline the ad.
Oh, yes.
Oh, because they don't want to not have UPMC money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's all bought off.
That would be my guess. I'm not saying that has happened, but if somebody did that, I would not be at all surprised if that's what did happen, because they don't want to do that. There's often, very often in political campaigns, sometimes TV stations will withdraw or refuse to accept an ad that makes, certain kinds of claims that they don't feel comfortable with. The other thing I can imagine too is just UPMC would at that point sue the hell out of whoever that advertiser was. So
that could be,
But yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, and in this particular case, the union here. I mean, I think the union would be unlikely to run an ad like that, because what the union really needs to do very carefully is draw a distinction between UPMC as an institution, to use Lynn's phrase, and then the actual people who work at UPMC. So they're always very careful to try and do that. And I think if they got to the point that basically said the care you got, the care I got at UPMC was terrible or whatever, that would sort of be a bad message for them to be sending, since they're working on behalf of those very workers.
What's their catchphrase? As if your life depended on it?
Choose your health care as if your life depended on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so disgusting. That line is so repulsive to me.
It's funny that when they first did it, it didn't really sound all that bad, because it's just like, oh, well, of course my life depends on my health. And now it sounds like freaking extortion.
It does. It sounds like
the
a
line
threat.
hasn't changed at all, but the entire context of it has shifted entirely.
Like a threat. It does.
And you do wonder how far in advance they saw all this stuff coming. You know what I mean? I've talked to people who have been active in that campaign, and I think I may have said this on your show before, Lynn. I mean, a lot of people sort of trace these problems to what was at the time not a particularly widely publicized move, which is UPMC dumped like a third of its board. And on that, among the people they got rid of were Jack Shea, the head of the AFL-CIO out here. And you can imagine how much different things might be playing out today if Jack Shea were still on the board. So that there was some thought that the UPMC was lining up, getting its ducks in a row, even before anybody else really kind of knew what was coming down the pike.
Well, it sure kept the right people on the board, because it's nothing but a bunch of lap dogs.
Every move. Oh, you unanimously voted for this?
Unanimously
supported that?
And when you see who they are, you're so disappointed in some of them, because there's some what I always thought were good people, but I can't comprehend. Can't. Thanks, caller.
Thank you.
Okay, Ray, you're starting to annoy me. Mr. Know-It-All. The law is an ass.
Yep.
He says is Oliver Twist.
I would not dispute. Yeah.
Spoken by Bumble, another great name, the orphanage manager.
You were probably thinking Bleak House, because that's Jarndyce v. Jarndyce. Right.
And it's all about the horror of the probate court.
Right.
And it's just my favorite novel, and so I like to put everything into Bleak House, anything I love.
Really? That's your favorite novel?
I loved it.
Really?
Maybe if I read it today, it wouldn't be, but I know when I read it, I was like laughing just from beginning. Just loved it. Yes, I did. Okay, so the laws and ours. Let's get our sights right.
Like we said, Oliver Twist.
Like we said. I never read Oliver Twist.
No, neither have I.
Which ones did you read?
I didn't read Bleak House either. Great Expectations.
Oh, yeah, because you had to.
Everybody has to read Great Expectations. And our copy of that in high school was furnished with this really memorable illustration of Miss Havisham in her flaming wedding dress. Just like, I remember that better than I think I remember anything else.
Oh, and I bet you had to read A Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think those were the only two. And then at some point you come across the Christmas Carol, for sure.
Yeah.
That might have been it though. Those three. Oh, I'm a rough and ill-lettered young man.
What? Don't say it. Okay, I'm sorry. Some of you are writing things that Chris, in his much more editorial, temperate kind of, is telling me, no, don't say that. No, I'm not going to say that.
But good one, Ray.
Too cute by half.
Oh, dear.
We're taking a break, I think.
More is on the way with Lynn Cullen Live.
Come to Little's for all of your back-to-school needs. Little's has everything for all ages to stay in style for this upcoming school season. Check out the large selection from Doc Marten, Steve Madden, UGG, Clarks, Lely Kelly, New Balance, and much, much more. Don't forget to come visit this season's colorful handbag selection as well. Little Shoes, Pittsburgh's largest family shoe store, 5850 Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill.
Go to the all-new bergbargains.com for great deals on gift cards from your favorite local restaurants, bars, museums, attractions, and shows. This month, big discounts on your favorite Halloween attractions. Supplies are limited. The all-new bergbargains.com, Pittsburgh's best bargains, bergbargains.com.
You're listening to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Once again, here's Lynn Cullen.
That's right. So I'm not sure if you've heard the new ads from UPMC sponsoring an anti-bullying campaign in area schools. Mm-hmm. Did you? Have you seen
I have not. I have not.
I have not either. And Beth says, isn't this the true sense of something being an oxymoron? I mean, they're a bully.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you would characterize UPMC as anything, they are a bully.
That may be part of why they're
sponsoring an anti-bullying campaign.
That may be why they're doing it. I do.
What? It really. I mean,
yeah, it does. It does kind of leave them open.
I mean, my God, what level or what non-level of self-awareness? They're like, they're like Republicans.
It's interesting. I don't know. It would be really interesting, and maybe this is something the paper should do someday, would be to get together some real heavy hitters in marketing and PR.
Yeah.
And just say do they even have a winning move at this point? Because it just feels like anything they say just drives people nuts. So
no, everybody hates it.
And not to say that sponsoring an anti-bullying campaign would be a bad thing at all. I just don't know that I'd necessarily advertise the fact that I was doing it. I would sort of let these little initiatives percolate from the ground up, and whatever goodwill gets created to be done that way, rather than doing it and then saying, see, we're not such bad guys. I will say that, I'm not entirely surprised to see them doing that. I mean, for, so much of the anti-bullying stuff nowadays is also about, increasing tolerance for LGBT youth. And, one thing I'll definitely say in UPMC's behalf is that they are good on those issues. I mean, that is a really, when it comes to how they hire and treat LGBT staff, they're good on that stuff.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they provide benefits. They're active participants in the Pride Day parade and stuff like that. I mean, you can't really fault them for that. So that perhaps would be another example. But yeah, at this point, they should just shut up.
I think they should shut up too. But they're incapable of.
The other thing too is, and this always strikes me about healthcare advertising, is you can't. I realize you can't have like a used car approach to this. You can't be like, I'll remove any spleen for $99.95. Like, you can't really sell on those things. But they never really talk about like what they actually do. You know what I mean? Like, you never see these ads, and sometimes you'll see them weirdly, like in national papers. Like, if you look at like you'll actually see UPMC takeout ads in like the New York Times, which I realize is a regional edition of the New York Times and stuff like that. But you'll see ads that are like, we do really great, heart health care. Here's our cardiac thing and all that stuff. You rarely see those ads around here. They're always it's always about this corporate branding thing. It's not about what they do. It's about who they are. Well, and the problem around here is who they are is exactly what pisses people off.
Right. It's because they seem like they've gone far, far astray from any kind of mission that has to do with providing health care.
And again, the question would be, because these kind of ads we're talking about started well before all of this. I mean, we used to joke about them just as sort of an annoying kind of ad.
Right.
Even before UPMC was doing any of this stuff.
Right.
So again, you think they must have been trying to prepare, they were trying to soften up the opposition or soften up the territory before they started rolling through, and it just didn't work.
At all. You're sometimes... there's an ad on right now that so makes me insane. It is, I keep thinking, did this organization pay somebody for this? I can't even, is it Duquesne Light? There's the most annoying jingle that sounds like it came out of 1943. I'm going to go for it one time. Let's all go to the Watley. Let's all go to the
what?
Watley.
To the what?
Watley. That's another thing.
What's Watley?
It's a stupid idiot light bulb.
Well, that song was from theaters. In the old days, they would say, let's all go to the lobby, and there would be little dancing popcorn bags.
But it is 1950s.
Right.
And they're trying to sell something that is a progressive thing, and that is such an annoying tune to start with. And I'm thinking, shut up!
They're going for a certain retro chic, I guess, right?
What?
It's kind of retro chic. Is that the idea?
It is not in any way. It's ugly. Watley is ugly. It's ugly.
What does he look like? Is he like a giant?
It's ugly animation. It's ugly. It's ugly sound. It's annoying. It comes on and you want to throw something at your television.
See this. It sounds great. I'm gonna go.
Okay, you're right.
So what does Watley do? I
don't know what do you think I couldn't even, I get so annoyed. First of all, you don't understand.
And now they're getting earned media because we're talking about who is this Watley? What services does he offer?
You don't even understand what they're saying, because you can get Watley, let's all go to...
It's from Duquesne Light.
Jesse is saying you can get Jesse's saying that Watley provides free light bulbs and energy saving.
They'll give you a box of lights.
Surge protector.
If you
and a surge protector too. See, now look, this ad is brilliant because now they're getting
I get so annoyed I can't hear anything they're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
I just start screaming, "Shut up! Shut up!" It's like, I remember some ad exec telling me once that a good ad is often seemingly stupid and annoying and repetitive.
But that's there's some really great ads on TV these days. I had no idea.
Oh God, think of some blasts from the past. Double your flavor, double your fun with double. Those
that had
kinds
hot
of stupid
twins in
things.
it, so that was.
They had hot
twins, yeah, sure.
Idiot things, stupid song, and they stick in your head forever.
Well, that's by that definition, they're like half of the accident attorneys and personal liability attorneys I see are marketing geniuses. There's that one.
Well, I think one of them is.
There's that. Well, sure, Edgar Snyder naturally.
Edgar Snyder is.
But there's that one, the local, and it's like, I don't think they're on anymore, but it was like you could see like cars flipping over and exploding in the background. I think that might have been Burger and Green. I can't remember.
Burger and Green.
Yeah.
There's one where I don't even think he knows how to pronounce his own name.
Oh.
I'm Burger and Green.
Out where my father lives, and this is not an example of an ad per se, but it's a great thing for a lawyer. It's a law firm, and my wife noticed it the first time we drove out to see my father's. It was a law firm, and the firm's name was Bickers and Bickers.
Oh, that can't be! That's
it was
wonderful.
You assume they have to do a lot of family law, you know. But it's right out there in Murraysville, the gateway to Westmoreland County. Bickers and Bickers, and I never even noticed it. I'd driven by it 1,000 times, and Melanie just started laughing.
Oh, well, that's just simply wonderful.
Yeah, Bickers and Bickers.
Oh God! And there's an old fire station near my house that's being renovated. Somebody.
Oh yeah, right along Penn Avenue there.
On Penn Avenue.
Yeah, I know that fire station well.
Fire station number maybe 10, maybe who the hell knows, but it's been there forever. Yeah. And so you know what the name of the guy is who's renovating it? Fireman.
Oh.
See?
Yeah.
His name is Fireman.
Yeah.
Do you think he was like compelled to buy a fire? I don't know. It's for his own office. I love things like that.
Yeah.
Remember, wasn't there a judge who had a name that was a perfect judge name? No. Other than Silvestri.
That's an old one. That's a good one.
Well, but there was somebody who had the perfect name. There was some fire chief who had Burns. No? Serious.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, stop chuckling like that. Okay, so shall we just talk about something in the news? I am worrying that I don't want Obama even talking to these SOBs.
I agree with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want them. They did this. They can get themselves out of it. And the only way they get themselves out is acknowledge defeat and total capitulation. I do not. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is, the irony is the thing that we on this side are convinced and terrified that when he says he wants to negotiate, he actually means it.
Yeah, I know.
And the people on the other side are convinced that he doesn't. And that's like one of those many weird things about our political life these days.
Caller?
Hi, do you ever listen to Car Talk on NPR?
Sure.
Yeah.
The name of their law firm is Dewey, Cheatham and Howe.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, if you go to Harvard Square, you can actually see they have a second floor space, and it's one of those kind of Flatiron buildings, and they actually have, I think it's where their studio is. You can actually see a Windows stencil on there that says Dewey Cheatham and Howe. Yeah, we just saw that this past summer, my wife and I.
That's a good one. I know. Oh, their whole thing where they have all the names of, it's just wonderful. Great show. Thank you. Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I had a friend in Madison who wanted to, he was an attorney, but he had come up with a name for his firm. Flotsam, Jetsam, Waifs, and Strays.
That was his law firm.
That's what he was. Flotsam, Jetsam, Waifs, and Strays.
A defense attorney, was he? Or?
He was. He called himself. He specialized in loony law. He tried to spring people out of mental institutions. He was the one who was intent on springing Rosemary Kennedy from St. Coletta's, which was very near Madison. And I counseled him on more than one occasion, suggesting that was probably not a good idea, Eddie.
Yeah.
Right. Because he had a lot of clients there, and he saw her a number of times, JFK's sister.
What would his standing have been to bring an action at all? Like, what would he...
Listen.
The family's the one that put her in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, after they lobotomized her.
I know.
There was nothing wrong with her.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I don't know what...
Listen.
It would be an involuntary uncommitment or something.
I think he was just intending to kidnap her. No, seriously, because he was a little odd. He had a mobile hot dog stand too. He was an odd one. Wondrous character, but a little strange.
Another call. We should just do more of these shows.
Okay, all right. Hello.
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 Good morning.
The dynamic duo is at it again.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I just want to warn Potter. Last time this guy called,
Yeah.
he talked for 20 minutes, so
Really?
you could leave right now.
Oh,
Maybe I will.
Boy, he's going to beat me up. Hey, this is just going to be a 5-minute filler for you. Okay, this is George Vermoon, of course.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, hit it, George. Go.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a guy named Toby Cosgrove from the Cleveland Clinic?
No, I have not.
Well, I didn't either. He's the CEO, and he's been there since 1975. I saw a interview with him on a book review on television, and he had pressed the hell out of it. I just excuse me. He's a high executive and everything like that. He was a coronary surgeon, head of the surgical department and everything. I'm keeping it short, but I'm giving you a nice 5-minute.
Okay, so he's an MD, and he's a wise administrator, and he's Cleveland Clinic, and you were hoping that, like, why can't we have somebody like him instead of Jeffrey Romoff?
Yeah. This guy, here,
Wow.
wait a minute. I mean, I'm not bowled over easily by PR crap, especially from high CEOs in large medical outfits and everything.
Right.
But the guy had a lot of qualities that I think are borne out in the Cleveland Clinic and what's going on there. And I didn't know the background on it. They're well known for their social attitudes and policies and taking in people no matter what their circumstances or resources. And they're more transparent.
Yeah.
They believe in that and everything. And I've known that, and I've known people who have gone there and everything. Not myself, but others. And I often wonder, where the hell did that come from? Well, this guy turns out to have been a Vietnam veteran and served when he was in the war, a couple years after me, actually. He saw the plight of the guys being chewed up by the war as well as the civilians.
Right.
And from that, and this was just a casual discussion with him about his background and everything. He's dyslexic also, and he barely made it into the Virginia Medical School. So I was just kind of surprised that here's like a guy who barely got into the profession, got to the top of it after about 40 years, but that he put something into the Cleveland Clinic monster machine that apparently is working. I don't know.
Yeah, well.
And check his name out if you ever
right.
get into it. He's an impressive guy.
Give us the name again.
Jewish too.
Give us the name.
Give us Jewish doctor.
Give us the name again.
It's Toby
Cosgrove, I think you said.
Cosgrove.
What kind of a Jewish name is that? Toby Cosgrove?
Yeah, I don't know. And his first name is like Cleo.
Cleo?
So that's why they call him Toby.
Yeah.
But he's a real fascinating guy. He's like 74.
Your name's Cleo, so they call you Toby? What the hell?
Who knows?
What? All right. Okay.
Hey, they call you Lynn instead of your real name. You know?
All right.
Yeah, but check it out. It's a real interesting guy.
All right.
And
Yeah.
completely different from UPMC.
Oh, yeah. Well, dream on. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so I chewed up a nice 4
We
minutes.
didn't. What? You think
Good,
we
you should be
didn't-
happy.
We didn't need your help.
People are tossing out the life belts today. That's what's good.
Jesus. I resent the fact
Lynn
that you
Cullen, I
needed
love
a
you.
call.
I just love every-
Get lost.
Thanks
Okay?
for the call, George.
Jesus. Colette thinks that Dewey Cheatham and Howe is from the Three Stooges
don't know.
originally. I don't know.
It's possible.
I don't know. They might have ripped it off. I do not know. Laura writes, here's another good one. What? Aho and pote.
Okay.
Is that a real... Aho and pote? Oh, no. They need some Caucasian name in there somewhere. You know, I was a legal secretary.
Really?
Yes. When I was a young married woman,
Dear me.
and my husband was in law school, I was a legal secretary. And I would answer the phone, and thusly, hello, ouch.
Hello?
Hello? All right, here it is. Melly Shields Walker in Peas.
Peas?
Pease.
Yeah, okay.
Melly Shields Millie Shields Walker and Pease. Now, the guy who I wasn't yet on the door, but was the next one down, it was a guy named Regnery.
Oh, yeah.
He was a young guy.
Yeah.
He was like about my age. I was about maybe 26, 27 at the time. I think he was too. And I couldn't stand this guy, and I used to have to do a lot of work for him. He ended up leaving the law firm and taking over his father's
publishing house. Oh, my God. I was wondering whether there was a connection there.
And Regnery Publishing, for those of you who don't know, he's the one. He's the one who has published every horrific, crazed, right-wing book in the universe.
Wow.
Regnery Publishing. He made it. I mean, the kid really made it a big to-do.
Yeah.
Should have poisoned his coffee when I could.
Well, no, that would have been wrong, Lynn.
Would it? Well, I don't know. All right, so you sort of like this kind of a free-form show?
No, I just I just think it's nice that it's nice that your audience is coming to our aid here.
They don't need to. I don't want them to
tossing out the lifelines. That's why we're getting the calls.
Laura writes back that most people look at it and they see a-ho and potty.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay.
A-ho and potty. Gotcha.
We're with you.
I wonder what kind of a derivation, ethnicity-wise, that a-ho and potty? Who knows?
Hawaiian, Pacific Island.
Pacific Islanders.
Sure
now, how on that list of, racial things, they have Pacific Islander, but I think they also have Samoan or something. They've got more. You stop and think of how many islands in the Pacific. They're all like little dots. You can't even see them.
Right.
And they've got more designations for like a racial thing.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's beyond stupid.
It's because from top to bottom, the entire Census Bureau is run by South Sea Islanders.
Is that what it is? I can't figure it out myself.
No, but when I took high school German, I don't know if this is true, but it's a good story, so whatever. All the posters that you ever see from Germany are all really from Bavaria, essentially, or at least they were when I was going to school in the 70s and 80s. All the Neuschwanstein and these other castles and things like that. So everybody's idea of German culture is not German culture, it's Bavarian culture. Lederhosens and all that stuff.
That's not German?
It's German, but it's just, Bavaria is just one state in the entire Federal Republic of Germany, right?
You mean...
So why was that? It's because the head of their tourism office for many years was from Bavaria, and so he would always pimp Munich and all those areas, and that's why people have these ridiculous ideas of
Germany? Are you suggesting that? What do you mean? Germans don't wear lederhosen?
No, only Bavarians wear lederhosen, and not. Now it's all now. Of course, nobody really does now. But yeah, if you were like in Hamburg or Berlin or someplace like that or Dortmund, you wouldn't see anybody wearing.
Well, of course not.
It's not even the same. It's not the same geography. It's just it's not the same at all.
Okay, a-ho, by the way, is Finnish.
There you go.
How is that Finnish?
I don't know. Who are you to say?
Well,
listen, you big expert on.
Well, listen, I'm here to say that Toby, Cleo, whatever, Cosgrove is as un-Jewish a name as I've ever heard. How could that be a Jew? On the other hand, do you know the president of our synagogue? There's only one synagogue in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's barely alive. The president of the synagogue a few terms ago was named Christensen.
See, there you go.
I loved it.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
Well, I know what that's about. It's a convert.
Yeah.
But you wonder why they then wouldn't change their name to like Jewison.
Jewison. Yeah.
That's a name.
Yeah, I know it is. It's just,
Christensen.
Yeah.
So another cute story from my synagogue, now that I'm thinking of my synagogue, because I remember a friend's father was the president, and the president sits on the altar, we call it a bima, during the services. And I remember old Abe Alk sitting there all the time, and he always had his hand on his, and he was always looking down at his prayer book. And I remember thinking, God, he's so focused and so religious. And so his son Johnny told me later that he had a transistor radio. And he was often listening. He was often listening to baseball games. Right? Isn't that great? I loved it. You never know. Well, I think we're done.
We've achieved almost Seinfeldian levels here today, but it filled the hour one way or another.
I loved it. I loved it. I thank you very much for doing it. And we'll start again all over next week, right?
See you on 4802 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
No, really. Tune in. 8 o'clock.
No, I don't think it's at 8.
9?
7:30. Thank you very much.
Well, tune in at 8. It takes a half hour for the show to really warm up.
I leave the house at 7:20.
We're done.
Goodbye.
Play the music.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.